Hey guys, Random Tapper here, trying out something different today. I'm actually going to be playing one of my favorite games next to Thief. It's called Mount and Blade. This is actually Mount and Blade Warband with a user-made expansion called the FLORIS expansion. Just adds a bunch of new awesome stuff. It makes it so mixed armies are actually useful. In the first Mount and Blade, it pretty much seemed like as long as you had mounted warriors, you would win, and it wasn't really worth it to have archers and regular melee guys, really. Didn't seem like, anyway, to me. I don't know. Mixed armies didn't really do good, but in this expansion they have their place. They're actually worth it. So we're going to start a new game. Okay, and with the FLORIS expansion, there's actually a problem. If you start out with as the impoverished noble, then, well, your father being an impoverished noble, I should say, then there could be problems. We'll say my father was a priest. Why not? Noble in training. Squire. Wanderlust, there we go. Okay, and we'll start out. We'll start out in the Kingdom of Swadia, that's fine. Okay. Okay, we'll enter the name, I'll just be Random Taffer. That's cool. Okay, now let's distribute our points. Basically, you're just building your own character's abilities. 10 strength. And some charisma. Okay. We've got these skills, which do exactly what they say here in the top right corner. Makes it so I can take more hits. Increases my hit points. I'm also going to do pathfinding so that I can move faster on the minimap. And I can hit harder with this. And prisoner management, so I can capture prisoners and sell them for money to ransom brokers. And we'll just do one in shield. Now my favorite thing to use in Mount and Blade is polearms, especially on horseback. Well, pretty much horseback is the best for those anyway. One-handed weapons also. I've played around with archery quite a bit, and that can be really good. It just takes a while to get good at. And I guess we'll make this guy vaguely look like me. Okay, so none of them really look like me at all. We'll go with this one, I guess. Hair will be... Yeah, it's actually more like my hair. I usually have a beard, but... The shadow's fine, though, because usually it's just a shadow. Okay. You came by caravan through the heartland of Calradia. Green shoots of wheat, barley, and oats are beginning to push through the dark soil of the rolling hills, and on the lower slopes of the snow-capped mountains, herds of cattle and sheep are grazing on the spring grass. Occasionally, too, you catch sight of one of the great war horses that are the pride of Swadian nobility. The land here is rich, but also troubled, as the occasional burnt-out farm bears witness. You keep a wide berth of the forest, where desperate men have taken refuge, and it is some relief when you crest a ridge and catch sight of the great port of Praven, its rooftops made golden by the last rays of the setting sun. You are exhausted by the time you find the inn in Praven, and fall asleep quickly. However, you awake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out onto the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end. The rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. So it tosses us into our first little battle here. I've got a bow. And somebody's gonna be attacking me soon. From some areas. Oh, he's got a bow too. Yeah, we'll get my archery proficiency up, why not? Alright, let's just kill him. Got him. Are you alright? Well, I guess you're alive at any rate. I'm not sure that we can say the same for the other fellow. That's one less thief to trouble our streets at night, although heaven knows he won't be the last. Anyway, maybe you can help me with something. Let's talk more inside. Out here we don't know who's listening. The merchant takes you to his house. Once inside, he stands by the door for a while, checking the street, and then finally, convinced you have not been followed, comes near you to speak. Although, it looks like I'm going to come near him. Now, let me explain my proposition. We've always had brigands in the hills, driven to banditry by war, debt, or love of violence. Recently, however, they've been getting bolder, leaving their camps in the wild and venturing into town, looking for unwary prey. The watch commander tells us it's because of all the fighting on the frontiers. Fewer men to keep an eye on the streets. But I'm not sure what to make of that. It seems to me that the most logical explanation is that these bandits have an ally inside the walls, who helps them enter unnoticed and helps them identify particularly tempting targets. Last week, you see, they took my brother. I don't know what my brother was thinking. A lad from a prominent house, out alone after dark in times like these. Well, I suppose you were too, but you're a stranger here and didn't know how bad things have become. He had no such excuse, but he's family, so what can you do? If you don't protect your kin, then people will start thinking that you can't protect your investments either, and I can't have that. No doubt the gang will soon send word about a ransom, but I don't care to pay it. So here's my proposition. You look like you've had a bit of experience with a blade, and more importantly, you must have a bit of fire in your belly or you wouldn't be coming to Colorado to seek your fortune. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Gather a small party, track down these bandits to their lair, teach them a lesson they won't forget, and get my brother back safe. In return, you'll earn my lasting gratitude and a bit of silver. What do you say? I'll say I am interested. You won't be able to do this by yourself, though. If you try to take on the whole gang single-handedly, the hunter will become the hunted. I'll warrant. You'll first want to round up a group of volunteers. There's always a few lads in the villages around here looking for a bit of work. That's more interesting than tilling the soil or hauling water. They'll follow you if you pay, so take this purse of 100 dinars. Consider it an advance on your reward. Go round to the villages and use the money to hire some help. I'll reckon that you need at least 5 men to take on these bandits. Very good, sir. I'll go collect some men from around the villages. Good. You can find me again in the tavern here in Praven after you've got your group together. Then we'll speak about what to do next. Okay. So, this is the mini-map. Looks like shit, I know, but we're going to go to some villages and hire some lackeys. Oh, that would be a looter, and he wants to rape the hell out of me, so... Oh, and there was a tournament I just got in Jalkala. We may do that. 2 peasants? Okay, so we need at least 3 more. Oops. Alright, so we got 3 more. Now, we'll go back and say we've got the dudes. He'll be at the tavern. That's a ransom broker. That's who we can sell captured prisoners to. Splendid work. You've hired enough men to take on the bandits. Now, travelers entering Craven have told us that there's a small group of robbers lurking on the outside of town. I suspect that they are all from the same band, the one that took my brother. Hunt them down and defeat them, and make them disclose the location of their lair. Very well. I shall hunt for the bandits. And it should show us where they are. Ah, there they are. What do you want? I've been looking for you. Tell me where you keep your prisoners and I'll let you go. Ha! Those prisoners are only going free if you pay their ransom. Did you bring any silver? No, but I brought steel. Okay, I'll just tell everybody to follow me. Actually, everybody should just hang back here. I actually don't need them at all. Where are they? Ah, there they are. As you can see, this is a battle. You can also play in third person. I prefer first when you're using a spear. It's a lot easier to aim. But if you're using a one-handed weapon like this, it's much easier to fight in third person. However, I'm using a spear, so I will fight in first. Got them all. And after you win, you can go over to see your men, and they'll all be cheering. Alright, so after you win the battle, it shows you the stats. Your casualties, none. Enemy casualties, 3 looters, and a robber was wounded. Hey, spare me, spare my life, let me go and I'll go far away from here and learn an honest trade and you'll never hear from me again. I'll spare your life, but in exchange, I want information. Either you or your mates kidnapped the brother of a prominent merchant in town. Tell me where you're hiding him, and I'll give me your word. And give me your word that you'll stop troubling the people of these parts, and you can go free. Oh, bless you, sir, bless you. We've done the lad no harm. We've been keeping him in our hideout near Elburl. I'll describe the area in detail so there's no mistake. Okay, and so we've got some stuff as a reward, but it doesn't look like anything good. We'll just take it all anyway, and then we can... Actually, that's better than this. See, it says +8 to head armor versus +9, so... And none of these are any good. Okay, and he should have told me the location of the hideout. There it is. Oh yeah, he said it was by Elburl, so we can go that way. And that was another army that was moving. I haven't made any enemies yet, so I'm just kind of on my own. No other factions will harm me. The only things that will harm me are bandits and just wandering. Maybe deserters will come after me. But until I actually make my own nation, or join a faction, none of the other factions will harm me. So, let's go into Elburl and we'll actually recruit some more volunteers. So we've got 11 people now. You can see they're just infantry, but you can name them anything. After they get experience in battle, you can upgrade them to more powerful troops. And let's just... we'll stay... We'll sleep... Whoops. That's actually not what I meant to do. But yeah, this is our camp. Make a camp. I'm just going to wait here, though. I'm going to wait until morning, and then we'll attack the kidnappers' hideout in the morning. Okay. You approach the hideout. The looters don't appear to have spotted you yet, and you can still sneak away unnoticed. The difficult approach to the site, down a narrow defile, means that only a handful of troops in your party will be able to join the attack, and they will be unable to bring their horses. If your initial attack fails, the looters will easily be able to make their escape and disperse. Do you wish to attack the hideout, or wait for another occasion? We will attack the hideout. Okay, but I don't want them just going off on their own, so they'll follow me and provide backup. We use the F commands to give your troops orders. Oh! Somebody's throwing something. Maybe they're over here. Oh, there they are. Right in the face. Alright, we'll just have our dudes attack. And if you want to in this game, you don't have to fight. You can just command your troops if you want to, but I prefer fighting. And their roars are really funny sounding. Just throwing rocks at each other. Okay, that was all of them. Oh, there's the guy. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for rescuing me from those fiends. Did my brother and Craven put you onto their track? Yes, I told them that I would find you. I advise you to return to your family as quickly as you can, and be careful on the road. With their retreat cut off, the looters fall one by one to your determined attack. Their hideout and their ill-gotten gains are now yours. Well, they gave us plenty of food to feed our troops. Some ale. Some bread. Some pork. Olives. Let's see, 20 to body armor, 8 to leg armor. Definitely better than mine, and it gives a bonus +2 to both, so. Make 26.8. This is actually a little bit better for body armor, a little bit worse for leg armor. We'll just keep this though. Plus 12 instead of plus 9. And we'll just take the rest and sell it. That's all we can hold, I guess. Okay, and some soldiers gain some experience. Just 2. Swadians are really good mounted warriors, so I'm going to upgrade them to eventually to the mounted dudes. They can also be archers, but it's actually another faction that has the best archers. I kind of like to take advantage of the faction stats. I'm actually going to get some more troops if I can. And those are that's a training field. You can just go there and fight and hit targets on your horse. There's some 15 looters. We've got 11 troops. We could easily take them. I'll save first. What do you want? Surrender or die? As you wish. Prepare to die. Okay. I'll take the field. Order my troops to follow me. Just have them sit right here. In case I need them. Oh, shit. They were pretty close. He just hit me right in the face with a rock. I just gained a level. Ouch. They keep blocking me. We'll have the troops fight. We'll join in. Okay, they're running. Alright. Okay, somebody's trying to escape. Oh, he might make it. Ah, they made it. Damn it. Yeah, they can escape out of the borders of the map if they if they run. Okay. So we've captured 2 prisoners. They're not worth too much since they're just regular bandits. We'll upgrade 1 soldier. And when we get back to the main map here, and I can't take any of this, I don't think. But this is worth more than a couple of these things. Okay. And more soldiers are ready to upgrade. Alright, so we've got these tier 2 soldiers. We got 4 of them, and obviously they're stronger than just the regular. And we'll upgrade my character as well. let's see. We'll give him some more strength. Increases hit points. Give him even more hit points, I guess. Iron Flesh. We'll upgrade his archery, since I have been using it, I guess. Okay. And that's the routed enemies. They'll always go faster than you, so you can almost never get them. Get some more peasants. There's some more looters, and we'll take on these looters next time. See you then.